This screencast is on the characteristics of life. At the end of this screencast, you are going to be able to argue why something is considered living or not living. So when we look at living things, they fit into the same basic set of characteristics. We're going to look at 8 different characteristics in this class. An easy way to remember these different characteristics is by using the word organism. The word organism just means a living thing. So you are an organism. So there are 8 characteristics: organization, reproduction, grows and develops, DNA, needs energy, stimuli causes a reaction, homeostasis, and made of one or more cells. We're going to look at each of these individually. So let's start with organization. With organization, we're looking how the structure of that living thing determines its function. So every different part of your body does a different job. For example, your hand is structured completely differently than your foot or your mouth because they have completely different jobs. Reproduction. All living things are going to reproduce in some way. Reproduction is just making new individuals. There are 2 types of reproduction. There's sexual reproduction, where we're going to mix the genetics, and then there's also asexual reproduction, where there's not going to be any mixing of genetics. Growth and development. Growth is the easy one. It's just getting bigger. Development is when an organism changes or matures over time. So think puberty here. DNA. DNA is the genetic material for all living things. Part of what makes you who you are is this molecule of DNA. We're going to learn lots about DNA in the genetics unit. Need for energy. All living things need to get energy from either food, chemicals, or the sun. There are 2 main groups of organisms that we can kind of split up based on where they get their energy from. So autotrophs are going to get their energy from sun or chemicals. So they either do photosynthesis using sunlight, or they do chemosynthesis using chemicals. Heterotrophs are like us. They have to eat to get their energy from a food source. Stimuli is causing a reaction. So a stimuli you can think of as like the cause, and the reaction you can think of as like the effect. So if you look up at the Venus flytrap plants up here, the stimuli here is the fly touching the flytrap, and the reaction is the flytrap closing. Okay. The little worm here is reacting to touch. When it gets touched by the experimenter, the little worm reacts and moves away. Homeostasis. This is just maintaining internal conditions. This is doing stuff like when you're too hot, your body sweats to cool down. When you're thirsty, it means you don't have enough water, so you go get a drink of water to rebalance your water levels in your body. We're going to learn more about homeostasis in another unit. Made of one or more cells. So all living things are made of at least one cell. A cell is a basic unit of life. So anything that is considered living has at least one cell. That means it would be unicellular, or it can have many cells like us and be multicellular. If you have any questions, as always, just email me or message me on Remind and I'll help you out.